Hey, what's up, traders? Leo here from Leo on Forex, back again with another video. So, as you know, as we do each and every Sunday, I'll be breaking down the market for you guys, giving you market forecast, actually projecting as to what I think the market will do going into this week. Possible setups and my hot pairs, the pairs that I'm looking at personally, and the trades that I'm looking to take. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Starting off with DXY on the daily time frame. As you can see, DXY is in a very clear uptrend, which I do think at some point it's gonna come to an end, but for now at least, dollar is looking very strong, but dollar is gaining some strength. So for those of you who do not know already what the DXY is, the DXY is basically the dollar index. It indicates dollar strength or weakness. So I tend to look at this each and every week just to get a understanding and gauge dollar strength for the upcoming week, or just to understand the dollar's behavior in general. We're jumping down now onto the 4-hour time frame on the DXY. So as you can see, the dollar is currently testing previous support, and unless the dollar breaks below this level right here, this highlighted zone, unless it breaks below this zone, I will know that the dollar is still strong. But if it's still testing this zone as support, then I just know the dollar is still strong and the dollar will hold up until further notice. So going into next week, I think dollar pairs are going to look very strong, but I don't have many dollar pairs. The dollar is strong in this week, so meaning basically any pair that's paired up with the dollar, for example, is going to sell. Like for example, one of the pairs that I have and one of the pairs that I'm looking at is GBPUSD. And as for GBPUSD, I'm looking for sales. So actually, speaking of GBPUSD, let's jump on to GBPUSD on the daily charts. So taking a look on GBPUSD, basically this is an update of the videos that I've done for the past 2 weeks. So this will be the third week of this setup and looking at this setup specifically, because of course markets do take time to reverse. They don't just turn on a dime just like that. They do take their own time to reverse. So just to get you up to speed, if you haven't watched the past 2 videos of the past 2 Sundays, let me just get you up to speed. So basically what I've been seeing here on GBPUSD is that price has been moving up, but at this point price failed to continue creating higher highs and started creating higher lows. And as you can see with this follow up, it started creating higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and higher and lower lows. And then from there we saw price testing this level of support multiple times, and if I can count for you, that is 1, 2, 3, before actually breaking through this level of previous support turned now into resistance, which price is currently testing at this point. And from now, I am looking for sales, as I said, because the dollar is currently strong. So I'm looking for sales on any other pair that's paired up with the dollar. So I'm looking for sales going lower into this level of support. So let's jump down now onto the 4-hour time frame. That's what I'll be looking for specifically on the 4-hour time frame for me to take the setup. Before actually I jump down on the 4-hour time frame, the one thing that I do use to indicate where price might turn is the Fibonacci retracement tool. This basically indicates when price might actually turn. And as you can see, price is currently lining up with these 3 levels, actually 2 of the 3 levels, which means it's at a very high level of confidence. It also aligns with a level of resistance, meaning at this point, a lot of big traders like myself are looking for sell opportunities. So let's jump down now on the 4-hour time frame. So as you can see, price is consolidating at this level of resistance, and which is something that I like to see. Actually, before you continue, let me change this level because my level of resistance is different from my level of support. Okay, the one thing that I am seeing here, I'm seeing a change in momentum, a shift in momentum rather, because price went from being bullish going into this level to having small candles, meaning the momentum, bullish momentum, has now reduced and now bears are trying to take over this momentum. And we see that the presence of bears, we see that bears are being present, and we see that through the size of the bearish candle, because it went from being a small bearish candles into being a large bearish candle, and there hasn't been another large bearish candle like this since this was printed. So going into this week, what I'm looking for something similar to this candle, but not as long, because usually these kind of candles are caused by news events or fundamental events. So going into this level, I'm looking for price to consolidate even longer, and then maybe around Tuesday late or Wednesday, we can look for selling opportunities all the way down to the downside into this level. But I'm also looking at two levels. This is not the only level that I'm looking at. So if I zoom out just for a little bit, as you can see there, I'm looking at two levels currently. That's one level, that's two, and three at this point, but those are my two TP or take profit levels. So moving on to the next setup, which is NZDJPY. So here on NZDJPY, let's start off on the daily time frame. So we always want to identify trend on the bigger time frames. So for one, as you can see, trend on the bigger time frame is very obvious. You don't want to sell when price is moving in a clear uptrend. This is a very strong uptrend in my view, because this is trend on the daily time frame, and higher time frames always have influence over the lower time frames. So as you can see on the daily time frame, we just closed with a very strong bullish candle, indicating that bulls have taken over. And now what I'm currently looking for to actually capitalize on this move is for price to fall back into this level and actually test this level for me to actually look for buying opportunities all the way to the upside, maybe into the previous highs. So now let's jump down onto the 4-hour time frame to actually get a better picture on what we are looking for. So now taking a look at the 4-hour time frame, as I said, we always want to use the Fibonacci level, retracement level, to measure how far or how deep the pullback or retracement is going to be going into this week. So for one, I took this from the low to the high, and as you can see, those three lines actually line up with those three levels. And also this previous level of resistance now turns support, lines up with the 50% retracement level. So now what I'm looking for price to actually give me some form of a pullback respecting these levels right there, and maybe from there we can look for buys all the way to the upside, because that's just how we trade. We do not want to sell at this point. We want to trade with the trend, because the trend is your friend. So the JPY pairs are looking good this far going into this week, and that is because the yen is currently selling, Japanese yen is currently selling going into this week, and every other pair that I have on my list right here is buying. So now the next pair that we'll be looking at is GBPUSD, which is one that I missed actually last week because I was supposed to enter somewhere around here, but price did not actually follow or conform to my rules, so I just let the setup go. So now what I'm looking for price to pull back into this level, testing this level, and then from there I'm looking for buys all the way to the upside. And as you can see, I did not actually analyze this pair on the daily time frame, but on the daily time frame, price is actually in a very strong uptrend, because as you can see, bulls are in control. And how you see if bulls are in control, firstly you see by the direction of the trend, and also the length of the candles. Candles generally indicate momentum, how much momentum is there, how much buying pressure is there, or how much selling pressure. The trend is bearish. So the next pair that I'll be looking at going into this week is Euro JPY. And I've said this in the past, always look for pairs that have high confluence, because usually pairs that move the same are very good to trade. Because I have an example, like what we're looking at right here. GBPJPY and EURJPY. These pairs move in very high correlation to each other. Correlation meaning they move in a similar fashion. So if you miss the setup on one, usually there's one that's lagging. Or if one is faster, the other one usually is slower. So you can catch setups. So it's just a matter of getting used to it. And at this point, I am used to it. Anyway, as you can see here on EURJPY, we're looking at the trend first. Trend is currently upwards. It's moving upwards. And what do you want to do in the uptrend? You want to buy, of course. So as you can see, price broke out of this level, came back, retested. I missed this move right there because price did not follow the rules of my trading plan. So I'm not going to take any trade outside of my trading plan. So from there, I let price go. So now what I'm currently looking at, I'm looking for price to come back, test this level, just jump down onto the 4-hour time frame. I am looking for price to actually come back, test this level of previous support, actually previous resistance, now turn support, and I'm looking for buys all the way to the upside. And one pair that I'm looking at and actually looking forward to going into this week is CAD JPY, and I'll tell you why. CAD JPY, for one, had a beautiful breakout. Actually, let's start by breaking it down on the daily time frame. What happened? So, for one, CAD JPY had been consolidating between these two levels, as price doesn't always move up in one constant line. So it consolidated between these levels, up, down, up, down, up, down, until it found a level of support, broke out of that level. Now what I'm looking for a retest, then possibly a continuation to the upside. And it's looking pretty good because, for one, going into this week, looking at COT data, and if you don't know what COT data is, it's the Commitment of Traders report, which basically tells us what smart money or the banks are doing in the markets. So looking at that report, and I'll publish that report also after, I'll pitch it up in this video. Looking at that report, CAD JPY, or the CAD, is buying and the yen is selling, which will result in this currency pair, CAD JPY, actually buying going into this week. But what we may see going into this week, actually check out the 4-hour time frame. What we may see going into this week, we may see price pull back into this level of support, especially on Monday, Tuesday, because those are the 2 days where there's not a lot of momentum or initial momentum in the market. So as you can see, it's trending very beautifully, very, very gorgeous trend that is currently happening. So from there, what we'll be looking for buys all the way to the upside. And then, so those are my hot pairs, guys. So just to give you a recap, GBP, JPY, we're looking for sells. NZDJPY, buys. GBP, JPY, buys. EURJPY, buys. CAD JPY, buys. So just be sure to be patient with these setups. They may take time. They don't always also play out the way that we plan. Sometimes you have to adapt to what the market is doing. So we're not always right in the market. The market is always right. Whatever the market does, we just follow along. We don't predict, but we trade what the market gives us. Anyway, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, just drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Just comment down below on what other pair you'd like for me to analyze if you've gotten this far into the video. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace. Of the